I'm going on a little bit of a sewing adventure today, and I'm going to be taking my first dive into bra making. I've made lots of strapless bodices, lots of boned bodices, and a couple of corsets before, but I've never actually made modern lingerie, so I thought it would be something that's interesting to give a try. And because I tend to jump into the deep end of the pool, I'm starting off by using a strapless bra pattern, which is the Esplanade pattern from Orange Lingerie. Bra making takes lots of specialty supplies, so I had to buy a lot of these materials. The first thing I got was this sew-in foam. I had a little bit of difficulty finding it, but I eventually found some on Amazon, so I'll link that in the description. Then I got the fabric that's going to be the main body of my bra. It's going to go on the cups and the front pieces. It's this tricot fabric. It's a nice kind of blue color. It's a little bit sheer and it's pretty stretchy, which the pattern doesn't call for, but I think I'm going to end up needing, because the fabric I got for the band, which the pattern calls for power mesh, and I bought what was advertised as power mesh, but this is just tulle. They advertised it incorrectly, so I'm probably going to have to use the tricot for the band as well. Then I had some trouble finding hook and eyes, but I also found these on Amazon. I did get 2 yards of this, so it's more than enough for as many projects as I want to make pretty much, and I'll link this as well. Then I headed over to Etsy to get some of the other specialty supplies I needed. I went to the shop The Bra Makery, and I got underwires, some 1/2 inch and some 5/8 inch plush back Pico Elastic, some sheer non-stretch cup lining, and some plush underwire casing. This was really hard to find anywhere except specialty shops, so just a heads up. Then I also have pattern, marking tools, and some thread. Just a quick note on sizing. I'm usually a 28D. I've measured myself, I've been measured by professionals, and that's pretty consistently where I fall. Measuring myself for this bra, though, it gave me a totally different size. It said I should be making a 32B. I'm going to trust the pattern on this one, but this is just a heads up that you may measure at a size that's different from your usual one, and you should double check their measurement instructions to make sure that you're making the size that's recommended in the pattern. I started off by making the foam cups. This is something I have done before, so it went together really quickly, and I ended up with 2 cups that are symmetrical enough. The fabric part of the cups went just as quickly. I did some nice top stitching to keep all the seam allowances down, and then I'm going to put them together with my foam cups. I did mess up the top of 1 cup, but it's not super noticeable, and when they're put together you get really nice finished seams. Because my fabric is stretchy, I lined both the bridge and frame pieces with my non-stretch lining. I added my Pico Elastic to the bottom and top. I measured the bottom of this, and it does measure about 24 inches around, so hopefully my fabric is stretchy enough that that will still fit. I went a little bit out of order here and inserted the cups, but this was a totally painless procedure. The cups went in super easily and there's no wrinkling, so I'm super happy with that. Inserting the hook and eye trim was pretty easy, but the hook side did give my machine a little trouble, so I had to use a straight stitch. Underwire casing was something that was new territory for me, and I did mostly alright. There was one area where I had to go back in and hand stitch because I didn't want to seam rip at my stitching and tear the fabric, but I think it ended up looking alright. Channels went on pretty quickly. They were a little too tight for my regular boning, so I ended up using some medium weight zip ties. I think next time I'll try and do the boning channel under the bust first to see if that hides the raw edge. So I finished the bra. It's all done. It looks like this from the outside and this from the inside, and let's talk about what went well and what went badly. So positives first. This is a really good pattern. It goes together super easily, the instructions are great, and it prints on so few pages with no taping involved, so that's a huge plus for me. I really like the lines of this pattern as well. It looks very classic, and it fits well with either vintage or modern styles. I'm definitely going to make this pattern again. It does need a couple little fit modifications for me, but even considering that I'd never really made a bra before, I'm really happy with how this turned out. Let's talk downsides. It's hard to find some of these materials, specifically the extra long underwires. I was not able to find any that would ship to me in the US for a reasonable price. I could find them in Europe, but I could not find them within the US. And so I ended up using strapless underwires instead, and you can see they're just too short. I have about 1 inch extra of room where I should only have about 1/2 inch of room, and so that really does change the fit of the bra. Now, some of these materials I was able to find just at my local fabric store or on Amazon, but there are other specialty materials like this plush underwire casing or the different widths of Pico Elastic that you are going to have to go to a specialty shop for. So that's just a heads up that this pattern can get a little bit expensive to make if you're buying all the materials new at the same time. Overall, I really like this pattern, especially considering this was my first time making a bra. It went super well. I think I'm going to try making this a couple more times. I want to try making one with a longer waistline that goes all the way down to my natural waist to give me some shaping. And then I also think I want to try making this into a corselet to go underneath a fancy dress. If you liked this video, you can check out my other videos on this channel or my other social media in the comments section, and I'll see you soon!